Nothing that we do happens in a vacuum. Everything happens in relation to something else. Context is what gives us the richness and around an experience. And one way that we capture context is through photography and videography. So with that, please help me give a warm welcome to our speaker today, Brittani Sensabaugh.
Give thanks. First and foremost, I always do where I look at everyone in the room and thank them for existing. Thank you for existing, everyone in this room. Thank you. Second is I do a chant where I say, and on a count of 3, love to light. Love to light. So I'm going to count to 3, and I want all of you guys to say love to light. 1, 2, 3.
Love to light.
One, you gotta, and my movement is 2, 2, 2, so you gotta say it 3 times. So, one more time. 1, 2, 3.
Love to light.
Last time. 1, 2, 3.
Love to light.
Oh man, give thanks, give thanks. My next thing is for every time that I talk, because I feel like we have so much going on. And some days that so much is in our minds a lot, but not a lot. So we forget to breathe. We literally forget to breathe. We do so much and we're in our vessel and we forget to breathe. So for 2 seconds, I want us to close our eyes and just breathe. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. There you go. There you go. Give thanks. Give thanks. You know, I always do that just because we don't realize with the energy that a lot is on us, you know. So I like to always just start off all my talks and anybody that I'm talking to with that. But yeah, give a round of applause from everybody that's in here, man. Thank you for existing. I'm here, we're here. Oh man, it is another day to love more. It is another day to give more. It is another day to overstand and understand and be vulnerable. And man, to realize that every moment is a process. And that brings me to, there's me. Hey, that brings me to my 222 Forgotten Cities movement. And my mission is very, very long. It has many different aspects to it. So I wanted to read just the overall goal. So with my 222 Forgotten Cities movement, I've made it my business to go and document all the places around the country where melanated people live that the media keeps a one-dimensional view on. I've documented Deep East Oakland. I've documented South Jamaica, Queens. I've documented Brownsville, Brooklyn, 8th World, Mandyville, New Orleans, Inglewood, Chicago, North Philadelphia, West Baltimore, Watts, California, Kingston, Jamaica, and that's just to name a few. Through these travels and visual cultivations, I realized that we are all connected, not just through the struggle, but beyond the flesh and through the spirit. We are beautiful, and it's undeniably evident our vibrations keep this world spinning. Each picture I capture is a piece of history that I'm giving back to my people that will uplift them. These are all of the photos that I've documented from all of those different cities. This one is in New Orleans. I shot this in Holly Grove. This one right here is in Philly. The one next to it is in Inglewood, Chicago. This is in Brownsville, Brooklyn. This is in West Side, Chicago. This is in New Orleans. This is in Mandyville. This is in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. This is in Holly Grove, New Orleans. This is in New Orleans. Ah, look at this. This is New Orleans, and he's just going to keep it going. Why did I start 222 Forgotten Cities? Well, I am from Deep East Oakland. I like to say Deep East Oakland at this point because we're currently in Deep East Oakland right now. And this is an area where you literally have to drive to. Like, you have to get in your car and not go to West Oakland or North Oakland or downtown Oakland, which is all in one little area. You have to literally get in your car and go to Deep East Oakland. So we're in Deep East Oakland right here. And a lot of people don't go to Deep East Oakland. And the reason why a lot of people don't go to Deep East Oakland is that it's considered the most dangerous areas. So I am from Deep East Oakland. I moved to New York when I was 20 years old. I am now 28. I'm a Cancer. I just turned 28 in July. And while I was in New York, I was on a subway train, and this Caucasian lady stopped me, and I was wearing an Oakland hoodie. And she pointed to my hoodie, and she said, "Don't ever go to that place. If you go to that place, you don't get robbed. There's nothing but thugs there. There's nothing but criminals." And I said to myself, well, I'm none of those things. And yeah, I was just like, wait, hold up. Like, I'm literally none of those things. And the people that I see every day in Deep East Oakland are none of those things. So the first thing I thought, because she looked like she was a Caucasian lady that lived in Chelsea somewhere, that watched the media, at that moment, I'm like, wow, like the mainstream media has such an effect on how we live our daily lives. We watch mainstream media in so many different outlets, not just TV, through advertisement, billboards, which are going into that later, just kind of planted that seed. Through advertisement, mainstream media is everywhere. And so when she said that, I'm like, wow, like, you haven't been there. You literally only saw Deep East Oakland or Oakland because the mainstream media said, oh, after Chicago, it's the second crime rate city. I heard that and I said to myself, wow, like, I have to change this. I didn't know how I was going to change it, but I said to myself, like, this is not like what she's saying is not a representation of what I see every day. When I was little, when I would walk around and see my people playing dominoes, having cookouts, family reunions, loving each other, hugging each other, the unconditional love that I see every day does not get documented. So I thought to myself, when I go back home, I'm going to document the Oakland that I see, the Oakland that I grew up in. And I did that in every city that the media talked down on. And currently, I'm in 10 cities. I've done 10 cities so far. Yeah, 10 cities. For me, like, when people always ask me, like, you know, like, well, how did you document these strangers? And how did you go into these areas where it's dangerous and, you know these people? My answer to that is these people are my people. So they're not strangers. Whenever I walk into any place where my people live, my vibrations are uplifted. And so for me, it was a sense of being able to go into a space where I can be myself. I didn't have to, like, put on any type of, we put on these masks at certain points in our jobs, in our house, where we don't want people to see ourselves. And through my people, like, I see me. I always see me. And that was the most liberating feeling that I've ever felt in my life, was to be able to go into the different areas where the media said it's only struggle. And I found beauty. Oh, he is just, I love that it starts right here because he is one of the favorite young kings that I've documented. I documented this image in Campbelltown in Kingston, Jamaica. And this is a signature style of mine. If you see a lot of my photography, I document a lot of children. And with this perspective, I hold the camera down and have them looking up at me because I hold myself accountable to be a vessel and to hold a platform and create a blueprint for all of the youth that are my people to grow. In all of my photos, kids are looking up at me, and literally you can see my reflection in their eyes. If you have my photos like blown up big, you can see my reflection. But it's a reminder for me to always know that I literally have to hold myself accountable daily to be able to guide them. You know, with 222 Forgotten Cities, like, when I first started it, it was created for me to document the areas that were forgotten. But what I realized through the documentations was I wanted to have my people tap back into the unconditional love, the communication, the trust, the building, the royalty, the nourishment that we really do come from. But because of our surroundings and a lot of the distractions and illusions that we see every day, we don't tap into that and we don't live in that. We live in the illusion. And so every time that my people can look up or wake up and be able to have my page, and it's funny because I would just literally just post it on my social media, post it on my website. I would get emails and people would email me like, wow, like, you have the ability to make me look at myself. Like, literally, like, you are shooting and you're capturing moments that are a reflection of literally my life. And so I realized, like, wow, this is it. I knew that it was bigger than me, but just to feel that it was bigger than me was just different. Just even looking at this photo, like, it brings me to chills, just because so many people, so many of my people, you know, we're lacking a lot of guidance. And just people in general. We are lacking a lot of guidance because we are distracted. So I wanted to provide a platform that has a sense of awareness. But shouts to all of the media so far that I've gotten to mix energy with. Ebony Magazine, 7x7, PBS NewsHour, Oprah. I was just in Oprah, June issue of Oprah Magazine. I shot the cover to Push Out. Shouts out to, she's not here, but Monique Morris. I shot that picture in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Essence Magazine, Oakland Magazine. So the continuance of my mission. This realization was my inspiration to create something that can tie the message together and bring it to the people in a single bound. Thus, the power of melanin, self-published book through 222 Media. This book was a way to create a blueprint and sense of self that my people can heal through their trauma and triggers through. Through 222 Forgotten Cities, I realized that I had created my own media channel. So I thought to myself, other than me just posting on social media, how can I make this a national movement? And I said, advertisement. Advertisement, which is something, again, that we don't psychologically think that and know that we're controlled by. When you walk outside today, there's gonna be tons of billboards that are selling something to you, telling you to consume, telling you to drink liquor, telling you to eat certain foods, telling you to smoke. There's one down the block now that says smoke weed, like smoke marijuana. I'm for smoking marijuana, by the way, though. I'm not against that, so shouts to that. I'm for that. But so many different advertisements that's telling us to do things. But no advertisements is telling us to heal. No advertisements is telling us to love ourselves. No advertisements is telling us to look at ourselves and see ourselves from the root. No advertisements is saying that. No advertisements is telling us to eat healthy. So I thought to myself, boom, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not only gonna do that, but I'm gonna put it in the areas that have food deserts, that are poverty stricken, that are only advertisements of tobacco and liquor and Church's Chicken and Popeyes and things that are not uplifting our vibrations, but things that are only keeping us in that illusion, keeping us in that trauma, keeping us in those triggers. And all of my billboards are self-funded by myself, so it took me a lot of discipline. These two right here I just put these two out under my client. He goes by the name of Mr. Fab. This is a picture that I took in Atlanta. And with my billboards, it's not just anything. Everything that I do is a psychological thing to plant seeds into all of the people that's looking into it, from the colors, the images, the messaging. So this right here, is a reflection of the unconditional love that I talked about earlier in this conversation that we don't see. This one is on the Coliseum, it was on the Coliseum Freeway. This one was across the street from the West Oakland BART station. And the one before that, it read, "Love is more powerful than fear." And that is my slogan. Love is more powerful than fear. And I'm going to say it one more time. Love is more powerful than fear. This one read, "Move more out of intention, less out of habit. Heal, regain your roots, and uplift your vibrations. Buy fresh fruits and produce at Mandela Foods Cooperative." Shout out to Mandela Foods. Shout out to Mandela Foods. They're in West Oakland, across the street from the West Oakland BART station where this billboard was. This is an image that I shot in Harlem, 125th, and then put that on the billboard. This was for all of my people that are looking for a space to be able to release. And so I have partnered up with Yoga Love, which is a yoga studio in North Oakland. And this billboard reads, "Wake up, balancing your mind, body, and soul is a revolutionary act. Embrace movement, align, and uplift your vibrations. Love is more powerful than fear." And this, oh my God, this is King Amari. I love him so much. He is from Acorn Projects. I love him so, so much. This is an example of, not only did I shoot this photo, but a lot of my billboards, I wanted the people in the community to be on them. So not just outside people that we don't know who they are, and we're looking up at them like, I've never seen this person in my community at all. Why is this person on this billboard? So he can be able to, and by the way, he's 2. So he can be able to look at the billboard, and he literally was able to do this, and see himself and go, that's me. And not see himself like, oh, that's me in handcuffs, or that's me getting, abused in society, or that's me being seen as a savage, but that's me being a king. That's me eating healthy. That's me being able to laugh and embrace life and be positive. There is me again. This one was just up by Lake Merritt, First Ave on Lake Shore. That was a very, very powerful moment for me because I was able to not only show him, but I was able to show his creator that her seed was on a billboard. And not only was it on a billboard, but this advertisement read, "Food is freedom." So when people are driving past, eating certain foods, I want you guys to think like, dang, oh, food is freedom. Oh, okay, what does that mean? Because the thing about planting seeds is it may not happen in a day or 2 days or in a week, but you might happen in like a year and be like, dang, I remember when I was walking and I saw that billboard that Brittsense did, and she said, "Food is freedom." And then it might align within you then. So everything that I do with the billboards and just in general is a process, and it's a psychological tapping into the mental. So there's another one of Amari. And this one right here is also with Mandela Foods as well. Another thing with that is I wanted to bring attention to the melanated-owned businesses that people don't know about that exist in the Bay Area. So with Yoga Love, that's a melanated-owned yoga studio. Mandela Foods is a melanated-owned grocery store. I shot this photo in 6-9 Village in Deep East Oakland, and this billboard was right up the block from where she lived. So I literally walked her over. And she's also in my book that you guys are about to see. But I actually literally walked her over to the billboard. And I basically told her to look up. And she literally was bursting into tears like, wow, I've never saw, this moment, there it is right here. There's the moment. Yeah, when she was bursting into tears, and then she started smiling afterwards. Because it's like, wow, I've never been able to see myself in this type of way. So that was very powerful. And so it brings me to my book. This is the book that I just released, my first self-published book under my 222 Media company, which I just started this year. And so I wanted you guys to do an exercise before we get out of here. So I created this book to bring the mentality of nourishment, healing, and unconditional love. Everyone here has a little piece of paper, and it's a billboard and it's a mirror. And for the billboard side, I wanted you guys to just write, if you can create an advertisement that you wanted to see in your community every day, if you can wake up and see this billboard every day, what would it be? And then on the back, because in life, we don't realize how many people influence us and how many different ways from that we influence ourselves. And so on the back, I wanted you guys to write, who are your mirrors in life now? And who are your mirrors when you were younger? So you can do that now. Now I see that you guys are kind of wrapping it up. So with the mirrors, I was going to ask you guys to maybe read one out, but then I thought to myself, like, I kind of want you guys to keep that and have that with you guys. So for you guys to be able to read it throughout the day or whatever you need to, but I just wanted you guys to just have that thought process of who your mirrors are. But before we end, I wanted to read this just to plant these seeds within us before we start all of our days. It's time to create this dialogue of seeing ourselves from the root and what we actually really come from, and not the lies created for us to stay in fear and in illusion. Who are your influences? Who are you choosing to guide you? Daily realize your trauma and your triggers. The moment to stop hiding behind them is now. Be aware of the energy you consume and absorb. The time to grow from a place of love and not ego is now. The moment to feel is now. We are desensitized and numb because we are constantly in survival mode. We must deeply heal from that and nourish our existence so that we can build prosperous foundations. We must create our own narratives. Be aware of the information you are consuming and the media that is intentionally programming you. Build your tribe. All moments are a process. Realize what type of love you are accepting. Realize the way you talk to yourself. If you're a parent, realize the way you're parenting your seeds. One of the reasons why I wanted to create my own media company, because when we think about business, it's such a transactional energy. It's always about money. And in a lot, if you follow me and if you see the book, which is, it's funny, it's right here, realize that money is fake and energy is real. Money is fake and energy is real. So with my 222 Media company that I just created, I wanted it to be a feeling of not a transactional energy, but an energy to heal. Realize that before we build anything on this earth, we must heal ourselves from the root. And I thank you guys for listening to me today.